men crazy by sittin' behind 'em and then shootin' shot onto their bald spots. And he never cracks a smile. He can look anybody in the eye and they can't tell he's doin' it, but they can feel it blamed well. He sure is a queer duck, and you look out for your one good eye." "Thank you, I will, but I have two good eyes. I can see very well out of the twisted one." Chase went to his room and to bed. Sleep did not come. His mind was too full. Too much had happened. The bed was too soft. He dozed off to start suddenly with the bump of a freight train in his ears. But when he did get to sleep it was in a deep, dreamless slumber that lasted until 10 o'clock the next morning. After breakfast, which Mrs. Obenwasser had kept waiting for him, he walked out to the ball grounds, to find the gates locked. So with morning practice out of the question, he returned to Main Street and walked toward the hotel. He saw Castorious sitting in the lobby. "Hello, Chase. Now wouldn't this jar you?" he said in friendly tones, offering a copy of the Findlay Chronicle. Could this be the stalking monster that had roared at him yesterday and scared about the last bit of courage out of him? Cas laid a big freckled hand on the newspaper and pointed out a column. "Mac gave Morris his walking papers yesterday and Stanhope his notice. This is a good move, as these players caused dissension in the club. Now we look for the brace. Findlay has been laying down lately. Castorious's work yesterday is an example. We would advise him not to play that dodge any more. The new shortstop, Chaseaway, put the boots on everything that came his way, but for all that we like his style. He is fast as lightning and has a grand whip. He stands up like brothers, and if we're any judge of ball players here we want to say we've always called the turn this new youngster will put the kibosh on a few and chase the dude for batting honors." Chase read it over twice, and it brought the hot blood to his face. After that miserable showing of his in the game, how kind of the reporter to speak well of him. Chase's heart swelled. He had been wrong. There were lots of good fellows in the world. "Make a fellow sick, wouldn't it?" said Cas in disgust. "Accused me of laying down. Say, come and walk over to the hotel where the Kenton fellows are staying." Chase felt very proud to be seen with the great pitcher, for whom all passers by had a nod or a word. They stopped at another hotel, in the lobby of which lounged a dozen broad shouldered, red faced young men. "Say," said Cas, with a swing of his head, "I just dropped in to tell you guys that I'm going to pitch today, and I'm going to let you down with 2 hits. See?" A variety of answers were flung at him, but he made no reply and walked out. All the way up the street Cas heard him growling to himself. The afternoon could not come soon enough for Chase. He went out to the grounds in high spirits. When he entered the dressing room he encountered the same derisive clamor that had characterized the players' manner toward him the day before, and it stunned him. He looked at them aghast. Every one of them, except Cas, had a scowl and a hard word for him. Benny, not quite sober yet, was brutal, and Meade made himself particularly offensive. Even Winters, who had been so friendly the night before, now said that he would put out Chase's other lamp if he played poorly today. They were totally different from what they had been off the field. A frenzy of some kind possessed them. Roars of laughter following attacks on him, and for that matter on each other, detracted little in Chase's mind from the impression of unnatural sarcasm. He hurriedly put on his uniform and got out of the room. He did not want to lose his nerve again. Cas sat on the end of the bleachers, pounding the boards with his bat. "Say, I was waiting for you," he said in a whisper to Chase. "I'm going to put you wise when I get a chance to talk. All I want to say now is, I'll show up this Kenton outfit today. They can't hit my speed, and they always hit my slow ball to left field through short. Now you lay for them. Play deep and get the ball away quick. You've got the arm for it." This was Cas's way of showing his friendship, and it surprised Chase as much as it pleased him. Mac came along then, and at once said, "Howdy, boys. Cas, what are you dressed for?" "I want to work today." "You do? What for?" "Well, I'm sore about yesterday, and I'm sore on Kenton, and if you'll work me today I'll shut them out." "You're on, Cas, you're on," said Mac, rubbing his hands in delight. "That's the way I want to hear you talk. We'll break our losing streak today." Then Mac pulled Chase aside, out of earshot of the other players pouring from the dressing room, and said: "Lad, are you going to take coaching?" "I'll try to do everything you tell me," replied Chase. "Shure, that's good. Listen, I'm going to teach you the game. Don't ever lose your nerve again. Got that?" "Yes." "When you're in the field with a runner on any base, make up your mind before the ball's hit what to do with it if it should happen to come to you. Got that?" "Yes." "Play deep at short unless you're called in. Come in fast on slow hit balls. Use an underhand snap throw to second or first when you haven't lots of time. Got that?" "Yes." "When the ball is hit or thrown to any baseman, run with it to back up the player. Got that?" "Yes." "All right. So far so good. Now as to hittin'. I like the way you stand up. You're a natural born hitter, so stand your own way. Don't budge an inch on the speediest pitcher as ever threw a ball. Learn to dodge wild pitches. Wait, watch the ball, let him pitch. Don't be anxious. Always take a strike if you're first up. Try to draw the base on balls. If there's runners on base, look for a sign from me on the bench. If you see my scorecard sticking out anywhere in sight, hit the first ball pitched. If you don't see it, wait. Turn around, easy like, and take a glance my way after every pitched ball. And when you get the sign, hit. We play the hit and run game. If you're on first or any base, look for the same sign from me. Then you'll know what the batter is up to and you'll be ready. Hit and run. Got that?" "Yes, I think so." "Well, don't get rattled even if you make a mistake. And never mind errors. Go after everything and dig it out of the dust if you can, but never mind errors." "And Chase, wait!" called Mac as the eager youngster made for the field. Then, in a whisper, as if he were half afraid some of the other players would hear, he went on: "Don't sass the umpire. Don't ever speak to no umpire. If you get a rotten deal on strikes, slam your bat down, puff up, look mad, do anything to make a bluff, but don't sass the umpire. See?" "I never will," declared Chase. The Findlay team came on the ground showing the effects of the shake-up. They were an aggressive, stormy aggregation. Epithets, the farthest removed from complimentary, flew thick and fast as the passing balls. A spirit of rivalry pervaded every action. In batting practice, he who failed to send out a clean, hard hit received a volley of abuse. In fielding practice, he who fumbled a ball or threw too high or too low was scornfully told to go out on the lots and play with the kids. It was a merciless warfare, every player for himself, no quarter asked or given. Chase fielded everything that came his way and threw perfectly to the bases, but even so, the players, especially Meade, vented their peculiar spleen on him as well as on others who made misplays. All of which did not affect Chase in the least. He was on his mettle. His blood was up. The faith Mac had shown in him should be justified. That he vowed with all intensity of feeling of which he was capable. The gong sounded for the game to start, and Castorious held forth in this wise: "Fellows, I've got everything today. Speed, well say, it's come back. And my floater, why, you can count the stitches. You stiffs get in the game. If you're not a lot of cigar signs, there won't be anything to it." Big and awkward as Cas was in citizen dress, in baseball harness he was an admirable figure. The crowds in the stands had heard of his threat to the Kentons, for of all gossip that in baseball circles flies the swiftest, and were out in force and loud enthusiasm. The bleachers idolized him. As the players went for their positions, Cas whispered a parting word to Chase: "When you see my floater go up, get on your toes." The umpire called play, threw out a white ball, and stood in expectant posture. As Cas faced the first Kenton player, he said in low voice: "Look out for your cocoa." Then he doubled up like a contortionist, and undoubled to finish his motion with an easy, graceful swing. With wonderful swiftness the white ball traveled straight for the batter's head. Down he went, flat, jumped up with red face, and yelled at Cas. The big pitcher smiled derisively, received the ball from the catcher, and with the same violent effort delivered another ball.